large number of monsters attacked the village, there was a fire everywhere, and the poor villagers were homeless. I listen intently as I hear the villagers discuss their plans for rebuilding the village after it was destroyed by a powerful monster, and my new companion tells them about his adventures in the lands of the elves. With the legs and body finished, I began the head of the polar bear statue. It's a tough job, but someone has to do it. The head is completed, so now he only needs an arm. If I want to move on to the next part of the sculpture, I need to finish this first. There's nothing else I can do right now, so I continue with the head. I am not sure exactly what it should look like. I got back into the base. The panda was waiting for me.
I'm a little lonely here without my kind. I'd really like some other pandas to join our base.
Let's go ask him. The panda and I traveled back to the jungle biome. When we got there, though, the jungle was on fire. I have to find my friends. I travel through the burning jungle, searching for my companions. After 2 or 3 minutes of walking, I realize that something isn't quite right. In the distance, I see a large building. I rush into the burning building, but the heat is too intense. I feel myself falling unconscious. As soon as I regain consciousness, I see the last of the panda standing alone inside the burning building. I slip in some of the grease and get burned by the flame, but it doesn't hurt much since I am wearing my leather armor. The flames are strong enough to burn a hole right through the floor, so that when I step out of them, I land on top of the floor. The floor is burning. Fire burns brightly. Flames leap up. Are you all right?
I've seen better days.
What happened? Who did this?
Who would have done this?
Of course, like always, it was the beast.
Before I pass, I want you to have this. It possesses great power, son. So use it wisely.
Thank you, Master. My master died, sending me into a rage. I've never felt before. I will avenge you, Master. Even if I die trying, the beast will meet his end through me. When I got back to the base, Spider-Man prepared me a hamburger and a hot dog, but I didn't have an appetite. Spider-Man notices the black spots on my clothes. I decided to keep mining and upgrade my armor and weapons. Spider-Woman told me that the village in the south was attacked by a big tiger, and I am going to help the villagers there, but I can't go now. I have to stay here until the next time I get my powers back. It is true. The village had been attacked by a large tiger. It was so large that it could barely fit through the door of the house where the man who got killed lived. There were 2 others injured as well. I didn't kill the tiger immediately, though. First, I made sure that everyone else was safe from its attacks. Then I went inside the house where it was hiding to try to capture it. The tiger wasn't pleased with being captured because it started to growl at me furiously. Yes, this would be easy if I could just pin down the tiger without letting it escape. But the tiger was too fast. Whenever I tried to grab hold of it, it would quickly slip out of my grip and run away. I chased the tiger all over the grass. Eventually, however, I beat the tiger. I was very badly injured, and the nearby villagers gave me many medicines in gratitude. But that doesn't mean that everything is going to end well for me. I am still terribly injured. My body aches constantly, and I can't even move a muscle. Spider-Man told me to go back to the bedroom and rest. I will keep trying to heal myself until I recover enough to return to the village. When I wake up, I find that I am completely healed. It seems like I've recovered a lot faster than usual. I climb out of bed and stretch. Now that I'm feeling better, it's time to get back to destroy other monsters. I reached a mysterious village, but I didn't meet the Spider-Woman. I am standing on the edge of a small forest. In front of me, the ground slopes gently downward. On the west side of the hill, I see a row of old houses built around an abandoned mine. Spider-Woman told me there is a monster in this village, and she wanted me to kill it. The people who live here have been living in fear ever since they found a corpse lying in their streets. They never saw the person who died, but somehow they knew it was a monster, and they were terrified that the monster's attack speed is very fast. The enemies are quite quick in responding to my attacks, but that's because of their tough armor. My first 2 hits should be enough to kill them, unless I've missed a critical hit or they have high constitution scores. The enemies do indeed seem to move more quickly than usual when it is time for them to die. This makes them harder to hit, and hence tougher opponents. The monster died instantly after taking one of your punches, but I successfully killed the monster. After a long day we headed home. I was visited by Spider-Man. He wanted to come live with us at our base, of course. But give me some time to make you a room. I got started immediately carving out the left side of the cave. This should be big enough. I can see that I have carved a few steps leading down to my new home, and are busy digging out the floor below it. A few hours later, after that I added a bed and some snow, so they feel more at home. I think it's finished. I was visited by a Spider-Man. He wanted to come live with us at our base, of course, but give me some time to make you a room. I got started immediately carving out the left side of the cave, so they feel more at home. Okay, I think it's finished. Spider-Man says he loves his new room. I was still in the building mood, so I crafted some cobblestone stairs and placed them on the steps leading up to the Spider-Man room as I was doing it.
Yes, I am. My friends stayed at our home to rebuild.
That's really great to hear. With the panda's return, it got me thinking about Master Kung Fu Panda again. He meant a lot to me, so I decided to build a shrine in his honor. I carved out a small room, cleaning up random blocks with stone. I then filled in the space with the pink bed and the big chest. I think the captain would have really liked this. I decided to call it a night. Tomorrow was gonna be crazy. I followed the captain to the spot where he had said the monster would appear. There was no sign of any monster anywhere, just a small clearing in the trees. It was surrounded by a tall fence made of metal bars. The captain indicates the lake. We'll have to swim over this. I look at him incredulously and shake your head. Why don't we walk through another way, the lake? The captain looks surprised, but that would be dangerous. I swam down the lake until I reached a village, and immediately I saw the legendary monster, a green humanoid monster. I am in the deep forest. This is where all the monsters live. The forest is covered with trees of every species and shape. There are also thick bushes that grow up to my waist, which provide excellent cover for hiding. Finally, the green minotaur found me and kept attacking me with red bombs. It was hard for me to get close to the green minotaur. The green minotaur attacks by throwing red bombs at me. It's very effective because each bomb explodes right next to my head, causing tremendous damage. This attack is so deadly that I can't even try to reach the minotaur on foot. I must rely entirely on my running speed. But if I run fast enough, I can avoid the bombs entirely, allowing I to sneak up behind the minotaur and use my dagger to stab it from behind. I kept dodging the red bombs, but the skin of the green minotaur was very hard, and I kept attacking the legs of the green minotaur. Finally, I defeated the green minotaur, but I was also injured. After the captain's exploration, we found my good brother, and I'm going to rescue him. Wait, what's that? I look up to see my brother suspended in a cage. I thought the beast killed you.
No, I was able to get away. When he found me, he thought I would be better off as bait to get to you.
How do I get you out of there?
You can't release him until you defeat me.
I finally beat the zombies. Indeed. And there were no more zombies. There was only the captain. He was looking for you and trying to get back his life. I rescued my good brother Steve, but he was seriously injured. My brother looked horrible, but at least he was alive. I took him to a doctor, who immediately set to work on healing his wounds. My brother was still awake, and he seemed happy to be alive. I am sorry, Steve said apologetically. I didn't mean to hurt you. Steve had cut himself during the fight with the zombies. It was deep and it needed stitches. I traveled back to the base and I began building Steve a room. The doctor finished stitching Steve's wound and left. Steve's health slowly recovered as I built him a new bedroom. My brother was very grateful. But something else happened while I was working. His wound still hurts. There was an old crate nearby. I decided to use it to store some things. Then I made a bed for Steve. Here's what I need to do next. I began building Michael a room. I know it's not much, but will this work as a room?
It's more than enough, thank you.
Spider-Woman greeted Steve, and then introduced the situation of our base. She explained everything to Steve, how the zombies came to attack, how they conquered the base, and how they had turned the captain into a zombie. Spider-Woman was talking about the next plan. At this moment, the captain ran over. A dinosaur was going to attack the village. Captain thought it would be a great idea to challenge this huge prehistoric dinosaur to a duel. If he won, the dinosaurs would leave the island. As if they could hear his thoughts, a large dinosaurs marched towards him. I was worried that he might lose. I wondered what would happen if he did. There was nothing I could do. All I could do was watch. And yet, somehow, Captain managed to defeat the dinosaur. The Captain and Spider-Woman briefly described the casualties of prehistoric dinosaurs. According to reliable information, Spider-Woman saw a skeleton killing villagers in the village. Spider-Woman laughs loudly. This is crazy. We don't have any weapons or armor. How do we even fight those skeletons? The only way is to run, shouts the captain. Keep running until we find a farmhouse for shelter. The Spider-Woman kept using the spider web to attack the skeleton, and the red giant axe of the skeleton kept chopping the Spider-Woman. But she was able to dodge each time, and then the Spider-Woman would use her web to wrap around the axe of the skeleton. The skeleton attempts to chop down the Spider-Woman again, but she quickly moves out of its path. In the end, Spider-Woman defeated the skeleton, but Spider-Woman was also injured and bled. Spider-Woman shakes off all the webbing that's stuck to her. Panda got up early today, but he came to say goodbye to me because his buddies need his help. See you later, I nod sadly. And so ends another adventure. My journey continues. A brief moment of rest. My eyes fall upon a new way that leads westward. Just when I was sad, Jack came over and said goodbye to me because his family missed him, and he had to go out of town for a couple days. Jack looks tired. Sorry that I'm leaving so soon after we first got together. And he had to go out of town for a couple days. Goodbye, Jack. See you next time. I wave as he walks away. I sit alone in the empty grass, brooding. I'm Jack. I'm lucky. I reached my hometown very quickly. Then, I didn't find my family. I decided to go to the river first. Then, I found some flint. I go deeper into the forest, looking for more flint. While searching through piles of dead leaves and rotting wood, I stumble upon a large stone slab covered with crude symbols. The markings seem almost familiar. Then I went into the woods, felled some trees. I enter the woods, following the stream north until it empties into the river. As I walk along the bank, I spot a large rock by the water's edge which looks like it might be useful in making tools. After hours of searching, I finally spot the largest tree in the forest. Without hesitation, I take out my axe and start to chop. It takes all of my strength, but with persistence and determination, the tree finally falls. The trunk is so massive that I struggle to lift it onto the stump.